What's that, Noah?
Do you know what time it is?
It's about 6:10.
That's right. That means it is time for the GSL Code A. It is Friday. We're going to watch Code A on Friday. And it's going to be an amazing day today. Welcome to Seoul, Korea, everybody.
Indeed.
I am Doa. Of course, with me, as always, this season is none other than Moletrap. As you can see, I have actually gone Super Saiyan today because I'm so excited.
Yeah, man.
I'm powered up.
He was sitting there before the cast going for about 3 episodes.
That's right.
And now here he is, Super Saiyan mode.
That's right. My eyes were like jiggling. Moletrap was like, "Will Doa go Super Saiyan before GSL starts?" and I did.
Exactly.
It worked.
I gotta say,
All right.
you do the best impression of the voice from Dragon Ball Z.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
Yes.
So
today we have an excellent day of Code A lined up. We have some really, really, really good matchups. And don't forget, we have MVP playing today. Yes.
Yeah.
The world champion, the 2-time GSL championship winner, is here in the round of 32 of Code A, in jeopardy of possibly being knocked out of the GSL altogether.
Yeah, that's kind of a bit of a blow to go from that to this. But let's take a look at the match results from Wednesday. That's right, we saw Leenock. Oh, no, Leenock. Why'd they have to remind me? Losing to Creator Prime. Good play by Creator, though.
Yep. We might see some good stuff out of him in the future.
We also had Ryung take down TSL Revival. Of course, Ryung playing for the team Slayers. We had MVP Avenge falling to the Emperor himself, Slayers Boxer. That was a bit of an exciting match, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
I think that's... wow, yeah, a bit of an exciting match. A little bit of an understatement.
A little bit. So, and we also had TSL Alive taking down MVP Finale in short order, a 2-0 victory. Now today, here's what we're going to see. It's going to be StarTale Ace versus MVP Violet. Following that, we're going to have StarTale again, only it's August this time, against Slayers Yu-Gi-Oh! And then the Best Foe U versus Slayers Min. And, of course, Incredible Miracles MVP. What's he doing on this screen? Playing against MVP Lure.
Yeah, and Slayers having a really good day on Wednesday. Both of their players making it through to the round of 16. Slayers has 2 more players playing today. So we'll see how they do today. See if Slayers can get 4 players in the round of 16. That would be actually pretty big. Yeah,
well, huge dominant force in the Team League, of course, just before this season started. Now possibly a dominant force in Code A as well.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see, I guess. And before we go any further, huge thanks to our sponsors, LG, Intel, and, of course, G-Skill. Without them, all this you see would not be possible. Let's get into the game. All right, here we go. Our first StarTale player I believe we've seen in Code A this season. He's our red Protoss at the top of Xel'Naga Fortress. He is
StarTale Ace.
StarTale Ace. Winner of IEM, actually.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, can't forget that. There he is. StarTale jackets. You know, I comment a lot on the jackets, and I think they're all cool, but I really think StarTale has a cool jacket, too. I'm like, maybe I'll just, like, swipe torches on my way home and be like, oh. StarTale.
Speaking of which,
I don't know.
Our best witch is 2 StarTale Torch. He's recovering from some nose surgery right now.
That's right.
Got his nose broken by Angel Girl Prime in the SC2 soccer match, and he's recovering in the hospital, or might be home by now, actually, but either way, recovering.
Maybe he's watching right now. If he is, hello, Torch. We hope your nose is straighter than the last time we saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And here down at the bottom of the map, our Blue Zerg, former Warcraft 3 pro, but he switched over to StarCraft 2. He is
MVP Violet.
MVP Violet, that's right. As I mentioned, he was a Warcraft 3 pro, and interestingly enough, in the Code A qualifiers, his first victim was none other than FXO Moonglade, who was also a Warcraft 3 pro. So,
yeah, in Warcraft 3, I looked up his record. He played Orc, by the way. He actually was very, very good. I didn't follow the War 3 scene very much, but I looked it up. He basically beat almost everyone he ran into, other than Lin and Czech, who interestingly enough are now StarCraft 2 pros as well. It'd be kind of fun to see if they met up together. Checks out, but yeah, Lin's in Code S now.
You know, a lot of people are saying too the kind of stereotypical thing I guess you could say about a lot of the former Warcraft 3 players is that a lot of people say they have good micro, but their macro really isn't as good as a former Brood War player per se. So, and you know, we've seen some evidence of that, but I'm not totally convinced yet. So I'm kind of really curious to see how Violet's macro is going to be. I think that's what I'm going to be paying the closest attention to.
Yeah.
Looks like it is a Forge Fast Expand for Ace and a Fast Zergling Speed for Violet. So
yeah, we had a
openings.
15 pool, I believe.
Yep.
And has now gone up to some Zerglings getting... I got the gas first, so he had enough gas in the bank for Zergling speed as soon as the spawning pool popped out, and he's going to send out some Zerglings. It's something that we're seeing a lot more these days against Protoss. It's pretty normal, actually, to get that first, because Protoss, especially, this is a 3-player map, and especially on few-player maps, it's really easy for the Protoss to find you and block your expansion. So that doesn't do you any good. You just end up getting down a pool because you can't get your hatchery down. So getting that pool down earlier anyway has become kind of normal.
Oh yeah, well on a map like that, going hatch first against Protoss is extremely dangerous, really dangerous on almost any map except for the really, really large ones. Yeah. Just because if they scout you fast enough, like you said, they can just cannon in your ramp and do a forge instead of a cybernetics core, and suddenly you have no hatchery, and
yeah,
Protoss can just 4-gauge or do whatever they want to do, so yeah.
Now, Ace, it's interesting, he's actually gotten, on very, very few probes, he's gotten that Nexus up, and both gas in his main. This is actually pretty normal for Ace, the way he plays a lot lately. He likes to go for a lot of early gas, and you can see that he's got barely any probes on minerals, getting a lot of early gas. He's known for liking Phoenix play, but when we saw him play in a little bit in IEM, I didn't watch all those games, but when we saw him play most recently against Rhett in the TSL, I believe. Wait, which one was that? He played against Rhett in some tournament. NASL, sorry.
Oh.
He didn't actually go for Phoenixes and that kind of play. He just went lots and lots and lots of gateway units early on and then switched into tech later on. So very, very solid, sort of stout army build up first and then going for tech later. So, but he's capable of kind of doing both, and he's got his core up. Oh,
the
probe gets in and sees the evolution chamber.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of Zergs get that evolution chamber a little bit earlier against Protoss now, just because a lot of Protoss players go air after they do that Forge Fast Expand. So if you have the evolution chamber up,
yeah,
get those spore crawlers going.
It's a good move, especially considering the fact that, you know, Ace is known for somewhat for
exactly.
play. Hold that thought, Zerglings coming in.
Getting trapped against the probes, a couple escapes, but a good enough amount of probes getting lost by Ace right now, down to just 4. He's going to lose all of his probes in this expansion, it looks like. The last probe, he manages to just save 2.
Wow.
Not exactly what you want to happen early on.
Yeah, and he has killed 12 of Ace's workers at this point, total. So that was big.
A lot.
That was actually really big. Right now, they're actually still even in Harvesters, almost. Zerg is a little bit ahead.
Well, I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised that Ace left himself open like that. He had so many probes down to his national so early, and he only had 1 cannon at that point to defend. No sentries really around.
Is this Overlord going to come back? Yes.
Yep, I think
Overlord was heading out to try and escape and comes back and might see the Robo.
Yeah, those sentries just take too long to kill it. There it is.
Spots the Robo.
So Violet knows what he's going up against. Now, of course, Ace could always cancel the Robo, but most likely he's going to finish it. So how does Violet respond? He takes another base. Interesting. All right. Transferring some drones over. So here's the thing. I mean, right now, Ace is trying to Chrono Boost out as many Harvesters as he possibly can. He's definitely down economically, or at least he was slowed down quite a bit by that. And that's really, those little advantages are kind of what Zerg players are using to win against Protoss right now. If you just try to go toe-to-toe against a Protoss economically and army-wise, a lot of times they can just, you know, basically beat you. The late-game Protoss army is a little bit stronger than the late-game Zerg army right now. So in the early game, right now, the Zerg's job is to get in there and either kill very important units like sentries and things like that with burrowed roaches, or find a way to get Zerglings in the base, kill off as many probes as you can, kind of get that big advantage you need to swing forward early, or late in the game, rather. Yeah,
now this is really interesting. Violet actually, he is, wow, he actually, with the Evo Chamber, he went for melee weapon upgrades instead of going for range weapon upgrades, and he just now got 2 more gas. He was running off 1 gas for 3 bases, just getting tons and tons of drones, up to 59 Harvesters, so his minerals are basically fully saturated. Almost fully saturated. He's got a few on gas. And just going for Zergling upgrades as well, so it looks like he might be thinking about using mass amounts of Zerglings in this game since he's going to have a lot of minerals incoming. And 4 hatcheries just put down a macro hatch and the Zergling upgrades.
I think the reason that we're seeing that too is because a lot of Zerg players previously focused on those missile upgrades, but against something like Blink Stalkers, which we see nearly every PvZ, Speedlings are actually better if you don't have to worry about sentries, because they'll be hitting the Stalkers quite a bit more than your Roaches will.
And if you have a lot of income, such that we might catch these sentries.
Grounded.
Are they going to die? One goes down, another.
Not
3 of the sentries go down. And is he going to get the last
on the back.
one? No, Force Field keeping that back.
There it is right now. Violet playing this perfectly, taking that little advantage, that little bit. He got the probes early. He got those sentries right now. That's the stuff that's going to help him win this game.
Yeah, he took out 3 sentries, forcing Ace to make 3 more in order to have that sentry count in his army. So it's going to make it a little bit longer before Ace can move out. He doesn't really have a large army right now.
Looks like he's getting drops as well as Overlord speed right now, getting Roach speed as well, so possibly planning on doing a bit of a Roach drop. Otherwise, a lot of Zergs lately have been Baneling dropping on the Protoss mineral line too.
Yeah, and
that Overseer will go down. I thought maybe he'd escape.
Sacrificed its life to scout Thermal Lance, and Colossus coming out though, so
well worth it.
Definitely worth it. Roaches with speed can actually do pretty well if they can catch the right opportunity, especially this map. The whole middle is way, way, way open. So if he can catch the Colossus out of position, it's easy to run some Roaches up, especially with 3 less sentries. It's going to be harder for him to keep the Roaches back.
Absolutely. Look at the army coming out right now for Ace. He does have a good amount of sentries yet. A couple Stalkers, good amount of, well, 2 Colossi. So really, those Colossi aren't terribly well protected yet. That's not as many sentries as you would normally want to push out with. And not to mention, having to produce all those sentries has kind of kept him from using more gas units. But here it comes. Violet. Is it going to be enough? A lot of force fields being used there. Speedlings getting around there. This does not look good for Startail Ace. Roach is getting in there. And the Immortal doing some good damage. More Speedlings coming in right now. Is it going to be enough? The Roach is taking a lot of damage from the Colossi. And I think, more reinforcements coming in for Violet.
Streaming in Lings and Roaches from the bottom as well. He's rallied to the middle here. Looks like he's going to try and regroup a little bit and go for another attack. And notice how Ace laid down a set of force fields and then fell back and didn't set down more. He didn't have the energy anymore. Again, losing those 3 sentries early, really, really hurting him.
Yeah, and the Speedling upgrades again helping. He's getting melee level 2 right now. 149 to 91 supply, so significantly ahead right now is MVP Violet. And Ace trying to go after that 3rd base, but Violet may counterattack. Looks like he is planning on doing a Baneling drop. Here they go, floating like deadly parade balloons. Dropping not candy, Mole Trap, but death.
I really hope that they don't have balloons such as these in the Mace's parade, because that would be bad. Ace going in for the 3rd base, actually. He's actually in a really good position. He doesn't really need force fields as much because he's got a good position right now. Roach is coming in. If he can get those Stalkers in the way, he can use the Colossus to major effect, but he's going to be dropping Banelings on top of the Stalkers, dropping out of the Overlords, doing not as much damage as they could have, but Lings streaming in as well as Roaches. Colossus still alive with tons of kills amongst them, are finally going to get taken out.
There we go.
And
MVP
GG
Violet.
coming from Ace.
Wow.
Wow.
What do you know? There's Violet. Looks pretty happy about that first game. Now the Baneling drop didn't go as well as it could have, but at that point he just had so many Roaches. There you go. Game 1 goes to Violet. First time in GSL taking down a pretty formidable player, but you gotta keep in mind too, Ace hasn't really had a whole lot of GSL success yet himself.
It's true. It's true.
So, yeah, there's our Korean commentators. And here's us. So so the Baneling drop, I think that was probably intended for the mineral line. That's what I've seen a lot of Zergs doing on the ladder lately.
I imagine it was.
Yeah. But Ace actually getting basically owned almost in that game, but it really came down to those things that we were talking about early on.
He was really putting on a lot of early pressure, and I think it's, Ace didn't do anything. He Forge expanded, and he kind of just sat back, so he couldn't do anything about the fact that Violet got a bajillion